Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is Tuesday, July 14th, and honestly, it is a beautiful day outside, but we are stuck inside talking about the absolute mess that is happening in Los Angeles right now. We have a lot of ground to cover today, and I am so ready to dive into all the drama, the tears, and the questionable life choices our favorite characters are making. So let's just get right into it because I have a lot of thoughts today, and I really need to vent about what the writers are doing to some of these characters. And let's start with Daphne and Carter. Honestly, you guys, my heart is just breaking for them right now. We have been watching them try to start a family for a while now, and it has just been this endless cycle of hope and disappointment. You know how it is when you watch a couple on this show actually try to be happy? The writers just cannot let them have a moment of peace. Carter has been through so much garbage over the years. I mean, think about it. The man is always officiating everyone else's weddings, always standing at the altar watching other people find their happily ever after, and every time he tries to find his own, it just blows up in his face. And now he finally has Daphne and they just want a baby. Is that too much to ask? Apparently, it is. But despite trying so incredibly hard, they just keep getting negative pregnancy tests. And you can just see the toll it is taking on Daphne. It's not just a storyline, it feels so heavy and real, and I have to give the actors credit because you can feel the desperation. So now Daphne is at that point where she just wants to know what is going on. She wants to make sure there isn't some underlying medical reason why she hasn't conceived yet. Which, honestly, is the smartest thing anyone has done on this show in months. Usually, people just keep secrets and lie for a year, but Daphne is actually going to a doctor. She is hoping that everything will come back clear, or that if there is a problem, it's something that can be easily treated. You know, pop a pill, do a minor procedure, and boom, baby on the way. That's how soap medicine usually works, right? But this is where things get really tough. And I have to say, I was a little surprised to see Lee Finnegan pop up in this capacity. I mean, I know Lee is a doctor, but she's usually busy yelling at Sheila or hovering over Finn. But sure, she's the doctor delivering the news today. And unfortunately, it really looks like Lee has some incredibly difficult news to share. The way the scene was set up, you just knew it wasn't going to be a happy appointment. Lee has to sit down with Daphne and go over the results of all these medical tests. And guys, it does not sound like good news at all. From what we are seeing, it looks like Daphne is going to be told that she is facing infertility. And just, wow, I had to pause the screen for a second, because that is devastating. It is absolutely devastating for a character who has wanted this so badly. And Carter, poor Carter, he is going to be crushed. But knowing him, he is going to try to be the strong one. He's going to hold her and tell her they will figure it out, but you know he's going to be hurting inside too. What were the writers thinking doing this to them? Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. We just want them to have a win. But maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe this is the start of a really beautiful adoption storyline or a surrogacy storyline. Remember back in April when we were all speculating that this might happen? Well, here we are. The reality is hitting, and it is going to be a very long, emotional road for Daphne and Carter. I just hope they don't let this tear them apart, because couples on this show have a terrible habit of breaking up when things get hard. Please, writers, let them stay together and fight through this. So while we are all crying over Daphne and Carter, let's pivot to the younger crowd, because the absolute foolishness happening over at the beach house is giving me a headache. Let's talk about Dylan, Electra, and Will. Oh, and R. Jay is probably lurking around somewhere too, because he always is. So today, Dylan just found out that Electra has officially moved out of the beach house. And wait, let's just rewind for a second because this living situation is like a game of musical chairs. Back in April, Dylan was the one moving out of Will's place because she wanted to save her friendship with Electra after all that toxic mess with Ivy's intercepted letter. Dylan literally packed her bags, gave this whole noble speech about not competing with Electra, and walked away. And now Electra is the one moving out. I swear, the lease on that beach house must be a nightmare to manage. But here is the really juicy part. Electra is telling people that she just can't be with Will right now. She's saying she can't do it, they are over, whatever. But we all know, and Dylan definitely knows, that just because Electra says she can't be with him doesn't mean her feelings have magically disappeared. Electra is still completely hung up on Will. The damage from Ivy's manipulation is still there, but the love didn't just evaporate. But Dylan, oh Dylan, she is looking at this situation, looking at a single, vulnerable Will Spencer. And you can see the wheels turning in her head. She is seriously thinking about making a move. And honestly, I am kind of here for it, but also kind of yelling at my screen. Because Dylan is totally about to break the ultimate girl code. You do not go after your friend's ex, especially when the breakup is this fresh and messy. But then again, let's be real for a second. Let's zoom out and look at the bigger pattern of this show. Girl code in Los Angeles, on the Bold and the Beautiful. That is hilarious. Brooke has slept with her sister's husband, her daughter's husband, her other sister's husband. Taylor has bounced between the same men. Steffi and Hope have been passing Liam back and forth like a hot potato for a decade. So why in the world should Dylan care about girl code? But still, as a former school teacher who seemed so grounded just a few months ago, this feels like a huge risk for Dylan. If she goes after Will now, she is going to lose Electra as a friend forever. There is no coming back from that. You can't just say, oops, my bad, I tripped and fell into your ex-boyfriend's arms. Electra will absolutely lose her mind. And let's not forget that Electra is a Forrester adjacent designer who has a lot of pull right now, and Dylan is. Well, Dylan is working reception at Il Giardino or wherever she landed after all that drama. The power dynamics are messy. And what about Will? Is Will even in a place to start something new with Dylan? The guy was just fighting with Jay in the Forrester Creations offices a few months ago, defending the Spencer name, trying to fix what Ivy broke. He is probably so emotionally exhausted right now. If Dylan swoops in, is he going to genuinely fall for her, or is she just going to be a rebound? I really like Dylan. I think the actress does a phenomenal job, but I am so worried she is setting herself up for a massive heartbreak. She is playing with fire. She knows Electra still loves him. She knows Will is vulnerable. It's like she's walking right into a trap that she is setting for herself. I just keep second-guessing how this is going to play out. Maybe Will actually reject Dylan? No, probably not. This is a soap opera. Of course they are going to kiss at the worst possible moment, and Electra is going to walk in and see them. You guys know exactly how this goes. It's the classic formula. Electra will realize she made a mistake moving out. She will come back to the beach house to get a sweater she forgot, and boom, there are Will and Dylan making out on the couch. I am calling it right now. That is exactly what the writers are setting up for next week. Honestly, I am just so exhausted by the younger generation making the same mistakes their parents made, but I also can't look away. It's like a car crash in slow motion. You want to yell at Dylan to just walk away? Go find someone who isn't entangled with your friend. Maybe go talk to Deke at the restaurant again. I don't know. Just stay away from the Spencer boys. But she won't. She is going to pursue him, and she is going to risk losing absolutely everything. Her friendship, her dignity, her peace of mind, all for a guy who couldn't even figure out he was being manipulated by Forrester a few months ago. So yeah, that is where we are at today. We have Daphne and Carter facing the absolute worst news of their lives in a sterile doctor's office with Lee. And we have Dylan getting ready to detonate a bomb on her friendship with Elektra because she can't resist Will Spencer. It is a lot to process. I am going to need a very large cup of coffee to get through the rest of this week's episodes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are you as heartbroken for Daphne as I am? And do you think Dylan is totally out of line for going after Will, or is girl code just a myth anyway?
What do you guys think about today's drama? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for your daily dose of bold and beautiful news. See you in the next video.